Well, are you going to come in or what?
That's really aggressive. You're going to come in or what?
Well, he's coming really
he knows
slow.
I know, but he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's done this enough. You're all right, you Cam. You've done this enough. You know what you're doing.
Well, you just got a thumb up, so we're
Big
all good.
thumbs up.
Anyway, spoilers. Spoilers. 2 weeks ago, we asked you which spoiler you prefer. This one is for the Vogue. We know it's not a Vogue, we know it's a trim level.
It's a trim
Don't bother getting in the comments, that one's getting boring. This is your choice. We gave the choice between the big one, which was, it was too big.
Yeah,
it was too big. This is the smaller version, and this is the first 3D print from us revising it to try and make it fit. So here we go. It's a little bit like the unboxing thing, but the first fit of a spoiler.
Exciting. Let's get it on.
Just here, this is one thing that we have to check out, that the actual spoiler itself needs to be a particular thickness so the part doesn't fail, and this here is actually too thin.
So that will just crack, will it?
It will. So what we'll have to do, we're going to have to basically take the profile of the spoiler up in line with this, so the thickness goes up and rolls over.
Yeah.
So that's one change that we've got to make.
But still considering this. But
you can see here it drops down right over the edge. So when it sits on perfect, which it does, all of the lines are great. But when we send it out to trade customers, what they'll probably consider is that's the locating line,
right,
and they'll probably fit it wrong. So we have to assume that it has to be, idiot-proof is probably a strong word, but it has to be idiot-proof on the installation. Mm-hmm. Michael?
I was going to say, this is a little bit beyond my remit. Now, this is full-on R&D.
When everything starts going wrong, we call him Michael. Mike, we have a couple of problems.
What's going on?
Material thickness there, much too small. So that will just end up cracking and failing.
Yep,
so it needs to follow up and go over. So when this is on, yeah, do you think we should take a little bit of material off here, like it's overhanging too much?
If you pull that off and pull that line up,
yeah,
people are then going to naturally make an even gap
between the two.
Between that.
As long as that goes round there, so I think this is too near.
Because that sits flush at the bottom at the minute, you'd think, oh cool, well flush it on both sides. But then that leaves you a massive gap up the top. So if you would then put it in an even place all round.
Yeah.
So yeah, pull that line up and I think we solve the whole problem. And like you say, material thickness in the centre and we're all good.
But from the side profile and rear profile, it actually looks good. So
yeah, it flows nicely
so
with the roof
it's
level.
more technical tweaks rather than design tweaks. We have a small overhang. Just here, yeah?
Yeah, it's just on this inside edge. And that's just enough that after you've got a bit of paint on there as well, it's going to look quite prominent.
You know what? This arch here actually overhangs like that, and that's part of the design feature. So how would we get rid of that? Because you'll see it on the front, won't you?
Well, the difference is though, if you're pulling that line slightly further back so it's in line with this panel, that'll be less noticeable. Plus, that doesn't matter that that's overhanging necessarily down the bottom.
Because you're not going to see it.
Because you're not going to see it, and it's part of the styling of it from the way you look at it.
I mean, from a fit perspective on the body, they fit
brilliantly well,
yeah, really, really good fit.
Yeah, the prints came out well, they've bonded together well.
And you can see from this line here, we're probably going to be able to come out 20 mil on the offset. What do you think, 20 mil? 25 mil? I think once we've gone out 20 mil, the stance of this with the spoiler and maybe just a front splitter, so a soft kit.
Yeah, a little soft kit on this is going to look unbelievable.
For this sport will be quite a package.
It's going to look brilliant. The only thing on this front arch is I'd like to pull this gap a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
And I would have to change that in the design, I would imagine, because if you pull that arch up any further, you're going to lose your
So that part
sensor.
fits perfect, and this needs maybe
it's
probably
like
half a mil more.
Like half a mil on each part, and that'll be perfect.
But is that
and it's bang on that line.
Right, so it is more material on.
So
it's not a case of moving it
no,
around.
I would go 0.5 mil on each of them parts, and it would just close that gap
Close
up
that
enough,
gap up, so
enough
it's
to make me
almost
sleep at
touches.
night.
You're only losing sleep. Mike had a baby, everyone. Say congratulations in the comments to Mike.
Mini Mike is now here.
So yeah, I reckon that we're good to get that change, and then we can probably sign off on those. So adjustment on the spoiler, adjustment on the arches, and we're good to go. Now let's go and see the Range Rover spoiler. Right, so, oh God, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Mike said to me earlier, it was like, when you put the Range Rover spoiler on, it's going to slide around everywhere. Because the roof is so flat, it's like almost like no location point. So I think we probably have to put tape on. Go on, you hold the edge. From a fit perspective though.
So you want to come round right flush to this edge, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because
what
then
the design is. It blends in here and comes up.
Yeah, it comes up. So it fits lovely. It's obviously a lot less sportier than the sport version because it just sits up. You've got a nice thin piece here, although the material thickness on this is not like the sport. It's actually even all the way through, so that will come through the mould okay.
I don't know whether when you've actually got the other half of this spoiler though, that it might locate properly because
it's going to fit to each side of the
you
car.
would look at both ends and it would
yeah.
hopefully marry itself up.
I'm much more content with that one from a sign-off perspective.
Yeah, and if you actually get in and look from this side as well, you can see there's a nice swage line on there that's meeting itself really well.
So it is located on these two swage lines here.
Yeah, you can see it better from my side if you wanted to have a look at that, but it's
yeah. Yeah, cool.
I'd be happy to sign off on that.
Yeah, we're good to go on that one. All right, so not that bad our R&D session. So yeah.
Not all bad news.
Right guys, that's it on the spoiler update. We will keep you posted as and when we get better fitment on the spoiler and the arches, and maybe the front split will come next.
Hope so.
Watch this space.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I've been set free. I'm allowed out of the office today. Now, I'm extremely fortunate to be driving my customers and good friend of Urban's Audi RS6 My customer actually said to me, he said, Dan, take it out for a drive and let me know what you think compared to standard. I thought, compared to standard? What have you done to it? He said, you'll see. Now, I had an inkling there might have been something done to this car before it arrived, because it was a rainy day at Urban and I was in the back office and I was having a chat and the weather was horrible, and I heard a massive crash of thunder. I was like, blimey, that's got really bad all of a sudden outside. And then the doorbell went and I went down and there he was, my customer standing there, and I said, that's definitely modified. Now, this RS6 has had a tune and a Miltech straight through system with downpipes, and it's pushing 740 horsepower and it is bonkers. It is sensational. I have not driven a car like this at Urban with this much road presence. It's incredible. Now with that 740 horsepower, it's pushing 1,015 Newton meters of torque. And when you put your foot down, you can feel every single one of those Newton meters clubbing together to propel you down the road. It is dizzyingly fast. And extremely thirsty. Now, this car has come into us with the intention of having a full urban conversion. So this is a customer of mine that doesn't do things by halves. So he's gone for a full exterior conversion. We're talking front splitter, side skirts, rear diffuser, upper lip spoiler, lower lip spoiler, in 2x2 visual carbon fibre in a gloss finish. And he's done something a little bit different actually, which I love. These are my favourite Vossen wheels. These are the HF4Ts. And I love the directional shape to them, especially when they're rolling. A car that's rolling down the road like this with these wheels on, it's just sublime. I could literally drive this all day in circles and not get bored at all. And that's exactly what I imagine he'll be doing as well. This is not a vehicle you tire of listening to, at all. As you're coming down the gears as well, you can actually blip the throttle just ever so slightly to just encourage those pops and bangs, which you don't need to do much. It's quite natural for this car. You can tell by the smile on my face that I am very impressed. This is my new favourite car at Urban. I want one. And if it's all right with you, I'm going to drive for a little bit longer before we conclude.
Right guys, so you may remember at the beginning of the episode, Si mentioned that Magic Mike has had a baby, so we've got a little surprise for him. Yeah, sorry you were busy, mate. Or is this lunch? This is lunch, isn't it? We've got a little surprise for you. Congratulations from myself and the rest of the Urban team.
Thank you very much, mate.
So we're busy at the moment, mate, so we need to get him on the tools as soon as possible. Can you train him up over Christmas?
Yeah, not a problem, mate.
Yeah?
Start a jam.
G-Wagons needs to be built. We've got another Cullinan going through build, EQCs, vans, a lot. So get him on the tools between Christmas and the New Year. We'll get him started.
We'll get him on the case.
Nice one, bro. Right, hi everyone. I'm with my very good friend Kim Krogdahl. He's come to collect this awesome RSQ8. What is this? Number 6, number 7?
I think it's number 8.
Kim is
Number
a
8.
customer that's turned friend. Like,
Oh, thank you.
I think I'd like to consider
feel
us
privileged.
Like, consider us friends now.
Okay,
definitely.
okay.
So yeah, you had an Urus, didn't you? You had one of our Nero Uruses.
I did.
But then you wanted a Huracán Perf, didn't you? Which
Yes.
you have bought today.
Yes.
In the snow.
In the snow.
What a guy. He sent me pictures before of like his tool bag in the passenger seat. I love it, he uses it.
I can't take everything around in the Perf, can I?
No, you can't.
You've seen bikes on the roof.
I have, yeah.
You've seen tools inside.
Yeah.
And cars are bought to be driven.
Yes.
They are.
Yeah, they
and
are.
I've posted that before on my, you know, the huge following I've got, as you know. But I need a car that I can drive every day.
Yeah. But something that for you to still enjoy as well.
Yeah, look, I love cars.
Yeah.
I always have loved cars. You know that since I met you. And I've got to have a car that has a bit of get up and go.
Yeah.
That has,
and
that I enjoy.
The best thing about the RSQ8, obviously, there's very similar components on the RSQ8. You know, same engine, same suspension, same gearbox. But you know, we know that the value of this vehicle is less than the Urus, and having a Perf and an Urus on the drive is quite extreme, isn't it? When you can have the same kind of car for...
But it's usability.
Exactly.
It's like you've said, it's like with the Urus, living near London, parking it, where do I leave it? You can't go anywhere without like attention.
Without
like
thinking
people
about
are
it.
Wanting to take photos, you know, I've got my wife in the car, I've got my son in the car.
Yeah.
I don't want to be posted all over Instagram. Like I have it in the Perf, I've driven the Perf through where I live.
Yeah.
And the next thing, my phone's pinging where car followers have taken photos. And again, it's everyday usability. I think putting bikes on a rack, you know, there's a famous picture of me at a bike park with 2 bikes on the roof.
Yeah,
I love
it's brilliant.
But it's the usability, isn't it?
All joking aside, you don't have a big social media page. You buy these cars to enjoy yourself, not for the following, not for other people.
No.
So you know, it's I think what a 2-car garage, a Huracán Perf and an RSQ8. It's perfect.
We'll see.
Don't mind us, time. We're just filming like
my moment of fame.
Literally doesn't care. Just bowl through. Anyone think he was the boss or something?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I thought you were the boss.
No. Right, so anyway, RSQ8 with 24-inch UC6 alloys.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
Go on.
Like looking at the shape of the car, Lancia Delta, HF Turbo.
Yeah?
It's those wheels.
Yeah.
And it's kind of got that shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that now. But those wheels really suit that car now, don't they? This is the first one on these wheels as well.
They do.
So carbon splitter, carbon eyebrows, carbon side skirts, little rear things.
Little rear
product
thing.
knowledge.
That's like your shine. Your shine. What was that? Shiny and something. What was that thing you said when it was like you were in there? You went, it's shiny and.
It's shiny. It's shiny. And
it's
then
a new terminology.
Then you're top and mid spoiler. So it's changed the look of the car. You wouldn't drive a standard one, would you? You'd have to have one.
Do you know
with
what? The last couple of days. Yesterday I drove up to. We were in Corby, riding, and I drove home and I passed 2 normal Q8s.
Yeah. Did you worry? Did you panic?
I was like, what have I done? Like, and there's a diesel one where I live as well, and I'm like, what have I done? And I've got 2 guys that live near me that both got Uruses, and I look at them and I'm like, have I done the right thing?
Yeah.
Should I have just done it? Looking at this, I'm really excited.
You're happy?
Like, I wasn't that excited coming up the road. I was like, have I done the right thing? Like there wasn't, you know, that urgency.
Usually you're on the phone
it's
to
like
me every
bang,
3
straight
hours.
away.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that urgency, and then I've kind of gone, and now I've got here. No, I've got. Yeah. No.
Oh, cool. So you're happy?
Lovely. I'm over the moon.
Good.
I'm over the moon.
Good.
So that's it for this week, and it's absolutely freezing.
Love it. So fresh.
I was just going to say to you,
this is perfect.
he's actually perfect.
I love it. Like,
are you not cold?
No, I love it.
But I come in the morning and I'm switching the heating on, and I'm tapping away on the keyboard and I can't move.
It's like this weather, -degree, but dry and sunshine. Perfect. Get it in your lungs, mate. Makes you feel alive. I'm taking ice baths in the morning, all sorts.
I think it's too cold, if I'm honest.
Chris is nodding as well.
He's behind the camera. This wobble at the moment you've got on the camera is Chris trying to it's lucky they've got that stabiliser thing in there that they can do.
Do you want to sign this video out then? Because
yes, I do. So we've signed off on the Range Rover Sport spoiler and the Vogue spoiler, all done, dusted, fits perfect, done.
Perfect.
We did 4 3D prints, which is a record.
Right.
Because we chopped and changed. One bit didn't fit, one bit did fit, la 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 la. What else have we done? Dan had his 700 and stupid brake horsepower.
What a monster.
And you had a handover of an RSQ8, which was cool.
So my mate Kim embarrassed me because I didn't want to bring my Merc in 30 miles into work when it was snowing, but he brings his £250,000 Huracan Perf, so kind of, outdid me there a little bit. But
So yeah, another good episode this week, and next week we have something special for you. It's our first hot hatch, which is just behind us. You can't see it because it's probably all blurred out, and we're going to give you a little sneak peek now.